What is up, everyone? This is Chewburger84 from the Alternate Reality Network, and you may recognize this voice from the Masters of Launch podcast, which comes out every Monday, where myself and BigRoyAwesome go through all the latest news and strategies for Marvel Strike Force. So I did say in the last couple of videos that I wasn't going to continue doing videos. It was just something that a few people had asked me for. However, you beautiful bastards over the last week have been subscribing, have been liking, have been commenting. So, yeah, I guess we're going to do this. I'm going to join these other content creators on YouTube. And if you guys keep liking what you're seeing, I'll keep making some videos. So look, it's been a big news week so far for Marvel Strike Force. We have had, obviously, the blog post, which has come up today, which we're going to talk about in this video shortly. And we've also had some announcements regarding where the Brotherhood is going to be coming from. Now, we've already seen Mystique in the game. She seems like a very fun character, seems very dependent on Magneto to function really well. But then we have today, Sabretooth is now into the game as well. At the moment, only available in Premium Orbs, but obviously coming soon into his own campaign. So let's talk about Sabretooth and his kit. So first things first, Fox Next, as always, thank you very much for the design of Sabretooth. I think he looks really, really gangster, especially that pimp sort of line coat that the guy seems to be wearing. I know that's part of his thing, but yeah, I think they did a really great work on the design here, as they have with most of their characters. That's one area where Fox Next has always shined. So his primary ability, and you may notice here on the screen that I've got everything at the 6664 level, and we can talk about the T4 upgrade abilities at the end to see whether we think any of these may be worth it. So Claw Rake, a very basic ability. He's only going to be doing just straight up damage. So yeah, look, I mean, that's fine. The game needs some more just direct damage characters, so that seems okay, but nothing to write home about. Then we have Thrash, which is his special ability, where he's going to attack a primary target for 390% damage, which is pretty decent, and his base damage is okay, so that's probably going to hit reasonably hard. Now, if that target has Taunt, this ability deals an additional 60% piercing damage, and then will attack all adjacent targets for 280% damage, and this attack can't be blocked. So I think that this is where, obviously, they're tipping Brotherhood to be a Fury killer, and one of the things that makes Fury so hard to kill outright with Burst is that as soon as you get a character below 50%, that pain in the butt security is going to come in and he's going to taunt. So having an attack that doesn't have the capacity to be blocked is going to give you a huge advantage over that Fury team. So I really like that one for this matter. It's going to be good against Cap. It's going to be good against the Merc tank. Yeah, this is a good all-around ability. Now, I did notice as well when I was looking at this before I started recording is that when you look at the level 7 ability, which is where the T formats come in, he actually does have a very significant damage boost. So we can see that he goes from 390% damage, which is pretty damn decent for a mid-range nuke anyway, right up to 460% damage. I mean, a 70% increase on a nuke like that, especially when it's only 4 energy, is pretty fantastic. We don't know if there's an energy feed mechanic for Magneto in a Brotherhood squad yet, but so far so good. It also takes up the splash damage by 40% as well. It's nothing spectacular, but it's pretty darn good. And then an extra 10% piercing damage as well. Now, piercing damage is one of those things that I want to be much better in this game. It never feels like it's hitting that much just because armor values on most characters are usually so low. It's only characters like Drax where you seem to start getting benefits like that. So yeah, this seems like a really good ability though. I'm liking where Thrashes seem to be sitting. Then we have Blood Rush. So this is his ultimate. It is worth 5 energy. He will attack the primary target for 330% damage and apply bleed for 2 turns. Always good. And this can chain right up to 3 to 5 targets for an additional 300% damage and also apply bleed for 2 turns. Now, normally counterattack will break this chain, but if Magneto is on the battlefield, this will negate that. So he'll be able to just go through and punch at least 3 to possibly 5 characters. Now, when you upgrade this ability to T4, it increases the damage to 380% for the primary target, 330% for the additionals, and also guarantees 4 targets up from 3. So you're always going to hit 4 to maybe 5 characters. So if it's going to hit 4 in the chain, that means that in an arena team, you are guaranteed to hit everyone, which is always good. So this bleed heavy mechanic I like. They seem to be doing a lot with bleed mechanics recently. Obviously Scarlet Witch was someone that started this wave of bleed characters. Then we have Venom coming in only last month, which seems to be increasing the viability of bleed teams as well, which is something that I think is going to make a big deal in some raid content coming down the track, where you just need to be able to put out some very sustained damage. Okay, Feral Healing. So he gains 5% damage per Brotherhood ally, an extra 20% damage in a Magneto squad. That is where these Thrash and Blood Rush, my apologies, are going to come into their own. I really, really dig this. So then on turn, very much like his bro Wolverine, he's going to heal for 10% of his health every time that he takes a turn. And he's also going to gain Death Proof when his health drops below 50%. So it's one of those cool things that you might be able to drop just below 50%, get to Death Proof, and then on his next turn he heals back above 50% anyway, which means you might be able to get a bit of a Death Proof loop if you have characters that are dispelling often, such as Shield Operative. So look, his kit looks really fun. I don't know if it's game-breakingly good. I mean, obviously being able to get around all those counters, especially on a Fury squad that has an Operative, is going to be one of the things that makes him hum against Fury. But yeah, at the moment, I'd say this is probably better than a mid-tier character, but not quite, as Casino would put it, a god-tier character. But overall, I like it. I really want to level him up. I mean, it's no secret to people who listen to the Masters of Launch podcast, Wolverine is my favorite Marvel character. And obviously, Sabretooth being, very closely related to him, I've always liked him as well. So yeah, he's going to be one I would love to get. I'm hoping in the next video that I do when I open my premium orbs that I get some shards. I've been watching the other guys' videos and it is not looking good, but we'll see how we go. Now, let's get into the news because we would be crazy not to talk about this. I'm going to give you initial reactions because obviously there's a very limited amount of information here as far as how some of these things are going to be rolling out. And some of these are already proving to be quite controversial in the community. We've already seen petitions raised against some of the proposals here. And again, I don't necessarily disagree with why some people might be angry about this, depending on how it rolls out. So to summarize this, we know now that obviously Pyro, Magneto, Juggernaut, Sabretooth will be joining Mystique on the journey to complete that Brotherhood. Okay, so we know that they're each going to get their own event campaign that tells the story of the Brotherhood's interdimensional battle against Ultimus. Now, Juggernaut's story leads the way in November, with Sabretooth and Pyro following in his tracks. This makes me so happy because Juggernaut is one of my favorite Marvel characters, and I don't really care if he turns out to be terrible or if Magneto and that squad doesn't turn out to be what we need them to be. I'm going to max that guy anyway. I don't care. He's going to be one of those just cheese, make myself happy farms that I'm going to do. Now, to unlock Magneto, you will need to deploy X-Men and Brotherhood characters in a legendary event. So we know that Casino had obviously leaked some of that information previously through one of his contacts, not in FoxNext, but a third party. And that means that the datamon on this one looks like it was wrong because it was suggesting you would need partners like Winter Soldier, like Vision, and I'm really happy that that's the case because some of those characters were locked well behind a farm wall. I guess on the flip side of that, now it probably means that some of these characters are locked behind a paywall. So, either way, you're probably going to have to be spending something to get Magneto the first time around, but that's not uncommon for games like this. So Magneto turns the Brotherhood of Mutants into a Tier 1 team in the order of Nick Fury and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., providing a new powerful option to dominate the arena. Now, the way that they've been building this team up for a little while with the leaks, with the news tidbits, and then obviously this blog post announcement now, this seems like it's going to be the arena meta. It seems like a very explosive team. It seems like it's going to be able to bleed and shut teams down very, very quickly, even though we don't know the rest of this squad setup as yet. The only thing I don't like about that, and games like Galaxy of Heroes have done this before, is that this means that this may be a team that's going to be really, 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 really good for Arena. And probably really, really, really good for Blitz as well. But it worries me that perhaps this team for the Raid, it may be lackluster. I mean, because it doesn't seem so far with some of the character descriptions, or even if you go by their lore, that any of these guys are going to be adding sustain to the team, which is what makes the Nick Fury squad and the Defenders team so very good in the raids. So I actually don't know how hard I'm going to go on these characters yet until I see them. I mean, Brotherhood is always going to be cool because they have been in the comic books. Is it going to be worth putting all of your farm into it? I don't know. Like, if Arena and getting into number 1 is what you care about the most, then obviously that is where you can farm quite a lot of cores. Absolutely. If it's going to counter Fury, why would you not? But yeah, if it's not going to give you that all 4 game modes buff, like the Defenders or like Fury could do, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Now, obviously, we know that you need to collect Mystique, Juggernaut, Sabretooth, Pyro to form a full Brotherhood of Mutants team to get Magneto. So, blah, 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 blah. Mystique's ability to attack stealth characters and copy status effects are already a problem for teams built around stealth. I have run her against a couple of stealth teams. It is quite fun, especially when you're up against the Hand Sentry Widow and Nick Fury to an extent. If you get Operative, put the 2-turn stealth on Fury, and then he shares that with the entire team, yeah, that could be really, really good to have her knock everyone back out of stealth. Now, with Magneto on the field, she's going to copy even more status effects such as Regenerate and Offense Up, which then gets passed on to Magneto and extended for both characters. Pyro has the ability to clear status effects off of enemy targets and inflict bleed, both of which are amplified in the presence of Magneto. Sabretooth is going to chain attacks and can't be countered when Magneto's on the board, and he will also do additional damage for each Brotherhood ally, which we just looked about in the last section. Finally, Juggernaut's speed bar fills every time he is attacked. I love the way that fits the lore. Whenever Magneto is on the field, and his taunt duration is extended, which is going to turn Jugs into a truly unstoppable force. The way that he should be, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be awesome. Now, for a challenge of this caliber, you're going to need more firepower. Now, Stark Tech is a crucial element in empowering your roster, and they've recently identified a bug that was preventing the benefits of Stark Tech from boosting characters' power numbers. So it looks like some of our power numbers are about to get a bit of a bump for whatever you've been investing, whether it's skill or mutant or tech, whatever it is that you've been pumping into. The benefits to the stats have always been applied correctly, so that's the main thing, I guess. We've been getting these benefits all along, but the power numbers shown on the roster was only accounting for about 5% of the Stark Tech applied to that character. So for EPing, for people who love those big numbers for your primary team, for STP, single team power, obviously you're about to get excited when that all rolls out. So that's going to go through. It's only really fixing a few odd PvP edge cases and will correctly display your roster power everywhere else. Now, speaking of power, a whole new system is on the way. Now, I don't know how I feel about this because I have played one other game where they did red stars. So introducing the red star promotion, a new way to amp up the power of your characters. You will soon be able to collect red stars to promote any stars you have for a character from gold to red, with each red star providing a multiplier to the character's overall power. Red stars multiply the power of your character by increasing all core stats, damage, health, armor, focus, resistance. They don't only multiply power gain from stars, but they also take into account all gear, levels, and Stark Tech bonuses as well, meaning that anything you do to improve a character will be amplified by red stars that you have applied to that character. Red stars are gained from the cleverly named Red Star Orb, which drops a random star promotion for a random character. Now, duplicate drops provide resources for the Elite Red Star Orb, which provide a better drop chance for higher star counts. These orbs will fountain. Now, every time I hear fountain or massive rewards from previous things, it makes me giggle because we haven't had one meet that expectation yet, but there's always a chance. Fox Next, let's do this. And we'll be talking about that in an upcoming blog. So red stars is something they've done in some of the other Marvel games where once you finish farming your characters to 7-star, they then have a secondary progression system. Similar to the Paragon system from Diablo, similar to some of the Battlefield games or the Call of Duty games where you could sort of keep going up and up and up. But with this game, the level of, I guess, increase to the core stats of the characters, depending on how much of a boost we're talking here, I mean, this is going to be an RNG hell because you're going to get characters that you don't want, let's face it. But this is obviously the star progression mode that they were talking about, where very soon stars will matter more. So I'm very curious to how they're going to roll out. Like, I mean, are they going to have this for legendary characters? You know, how am I going to get stars for Nick Fury? Is he going to be included in this? Is it going to be something that they add into the legendary characters? Same for Star-Lord and Iron Man. I guess we need to see this orb. Is every character in the game in these orbs? Do some characters have higher drop rates than others? At the moment, we don't know. For me, it's a curious timing to release this now. I don't really understand why so early into the game cycle. I mean, yep, we're getting closer to a year. I think the beta guys might even be at a year now, but the global launch, obviously, you know, we're still 3 or 4 months away from being 12 months into the game. And I'm probably a lot further ahead than most global launch characters because I have spent money on this game. I've only got, I think, maybe 14 characters at 7-star. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I need to see how it rolls out. I'm going to save judgment until I see that. But part of me does worry that this is a strategy to keep those high-level Kraken characters spending on the game. And I don't blame Foxnext for that, because obviously it is those characters that keep the game running for the free-to-play guys. But I don't know. I mean, with resources being so scarce in many factors such as gold, the purple gear, matte, orange gear obviously being a new bottleneck, it just feels very, very early for this kind of progression system to be introduced to the game. So yeah, I'm not super excited about this until I see it. I mean, if I get lucky and I roll all Fury, I'm going to say this is the greatest thing ever. But if it looks like that's going to be tough, maybe. So let's get to the most controversial part of this blog. I know everyone is talking about it right now. So finally, we're making one quality of life upgrade in the upcoming release that we think you'll be very happy to hear about. Hopefully as excited as we are that it's finally here. Save squads. Now we know that we've needed saved squads, all right? Because going through Blitz, that entire roster every day, it's so painful. Because if you have, you're mixing characters of different ability levels, you might have to scroll and scroll and scroll down to get the characters that you actually want or need. So that's fantastic that it's coming to the game. But this is the part that has a few people a little bit miffed. So save squads will be one of the community requested quality of life features implemented. And also, save squads will not be exclusive to Blitz. You'll be able to use your save squads in raids as well. So this all sounds great until you get to this. Saved squads will have several squads worth of slots at the start that will be active immediately, with more available for later purchase to accommodate your ever-expanding roster. Every game that I've played in mobile that has had game modes like this, where it's expecting you to throw team after team after team up against some sort of a meat grinder. I'm looking at Dark Dimension. I'm looking at Blitz. I'm looking at Raid. They do this for free. All right, it's an inbuilt game mechanic that even Foxnext in previous posts have acknowledged that this is a feature they would have loved to have had in-game from the very beginning. To say that they're going to charge for this, if that is true, all right, if you're not getting some extra bonus, right, it's just slots, that sucks. All right, I'm sorry to say Foxnext, because you know how much I love you guys. That, if it is true, as it reads, is a terrible, terrible decision, because it's nothing but greed. I mean, people would be nuts to do it, just for convenience, just to add a couple of slots, when every other game that's like this, that this game is copied and pasted from mechanic-wise, no one charges for this. No one. All right, this is not some MMO game where you are, wanting to level your 20th alternate character and you want to buy some additional slots because you're taking up a phenomenal amount of storage space. I mean, come on. This is Greed 101 if this is true. So I think Foxnext have been on a roll with some very positive steps over the last couple of months. These last two have me a little bit nervous. I love the idea of red stars. I feel like it's too soon. I love save squads. I really, really do. But I don't want to have to pay for them. In fact, I won't pay for them. And I've spent some money on some dumb things in this game, right? But that's not one that I'm going to do. So, look, it's too soon to say. I'm going to say final judgment until I see the rollout. But, yeah, I think it's kind of a D-bag move to charge for that. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, hopefully this is just a wording thing. There's some sort of bonus they're not telling us about for that money. We'll have to wait and see. But look, I'd love to hear what you guys think as well. So you can either drop some comments down below. You're welcome to come and find me on the Strikeforce Masters of Launch Discord channel. If you have any issues finding it, look me up at Chewburger84 on Discord, and I'll gladly get you into the conversation there. Make sure you listen to mine and Big Roy Awesome's podcast every Monday. You can download it on iTunes, Spotify. We are pondering getting it linked into YouTube as well, so you may be able to listen to it on a separate channel very soon. But until then, thank you very much for continuing to watch these videos. I really apologize for the quality of the lighting and this room. My recording room has been turned into a spare bedroom for the next couple of weeks while my in-laws are staying here. So I'm literally racing in while they're out, recording something quickly and then moving on. So apologies for the poor production value this week. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you very soon. Cheers.